So hi sir, good evening. Ashish Batla would like to thank you from our team of College Dunia. Even in this COVID pandemic, you got time for us. And guys, I would like to introduce you to Dr. Bhakar, who is the director of Prestige Institute of Management Gwalior, and which is the well-known brand in terms of Madhya Pradesh and Gwalior, and definitely in India, most of them have heard it. And Dr. Bhakar will share his views on that, how you students should approach the things even in this COVID pandemic. There's nothing to panic, and how you can take the decisions. So, Dr. Bhakar, we start taking some of the questions.
Sure, Ashish. You can go ahead.
Okay, so Dr. Bhakar, my first question to you is that you hold a very key position in your institute and throughout your professional career. What is the key factor that have keep you connected with the education sector?
Well, I have been a keen learner throughout my life, and that is one reason why I got hooked to education. In fact, when I was studying in my ninth and 10th, I have studied from a government high school. We did not have a teacher for mathematics and science, and I used to teach my class.
Oh,
So it is from then on that I was keen in education. Though in between I joined Indian Navy and worked there for 19 years.
great.
There also we have a lot of training that goes on, and I was associated with training my engineers. So that I have been throughout my life. I have been very closely associated with education. After joining academics back in 1994, I find this is the work that I wanted to do in my throughout my life. So, and I am from a family of academics.
Oh,
My two brothers, one has been head of 10 plus 2 school, and one was a principal in engineering college. So we are my father-in-law is also was in also academics. So we are a family of academicians.
so great, sir. Great. So you showed an act of leadership in terms of school only, and that's great that you took an initiative. Even my parents are from a government teacher. My mother is a government teacher, and she's also into academics. So it's good to know people from academics. Great, sir. So my next question to you is that when in terms of education system in India and other foreign countries are structured very differently. In your experience, what can an inbound student gain from studying here at your institute?
Well, it was in fact NEP 2020 is going to connect the country with the other countries. It is bringing the education system in India in line with the education system world over. In fact, in the best of countries, the developed countries, the education system, the kind of education system, the flexibility that the student has in choosing the subjects and the stream, and also flexibility in leaving a program and rejoining a program. Now, this has not been there. We have had a very hard structured system in India. So that is changing. So that's one that I'm talking about in general. That's going to change. At Prestige Institute of Management Gwalior, we've been very alive to students' requirements, and we have been changing as per the industrial needs. We look at these stakeholders, and we continuously keep getting updates from our stakeholders, be it industry. We keep taking feedback from society. We keep taking feedback from the parents and the students community as well. And we have been aligning our syllabus, our pedagogy as per the needs of the industry. Like say, recently we found that analytics is become very important.
Yeah.
Data analysis has become absolutely important.
Yeah.
So we've introduced subjects in our regular programs that deal with analytics. and we've come up with a new MBA program, MBA Business Analytics,
Yes.
to take care of the industry needs. And that is the reason why our students, because we keep industry need in mind while preparing the curriculum, the syllabus, detailed syllabus, also even the pedagogy that we decide is as per the skills required by the industry. And that is the reason why the acceptability of our students has been exceptionally high.
Yeah.
The current batch, the batch that passed out in 2020, we've had 26 students who got packages above 10 lakh.
Great. That's very great.
This is extremely good for any institution located in Hindi heartland, in a small town like Gwalior.
Yeah.
It is absolutely good, and it's a good reflection on the kind of learning the students have at our institution.
Even in this pandemic, getting placed is the first challenge,
Yes.
but whereas your institution has stepped more ahead by placing them at a very good package of more than 10 lakh rupees. Great, sir. That's very great. So just want to know that now the things have been changed. So how does your college has designed the curriculum to ensure the best practices in industry?
So we become autonomous institution since last 2 years now. This is the second year we are running as an autonomous institution.
Yeah.
Last year we updated our syllabus as per we invited industry representatives. Our own alumni was part of the decision, and we decided our curriculum and syllabus.
Yeah.
And after a year's experience, we realized that there were still gaps, and we revamped our curriculum and syllabus again this year.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a continuous process for us.
Okay.
That every year we are going to align our syllabus and curriculum as per the industry requirements.
Yeah.
This year, because of the pandemic, we had to move teaching online.
Yeah.
And as soon as the lockdown was announced, we moved all our classes online. And we realized that moving all the classes online, having same timetable is not okay.
Yeah.
The on this online system, students can't concentrate on a subject longer than say 5-10 minutes.
Definitely.
You need to continuously keep giving breaks in between the class, and between classes also there are supposed to be breaks.
Yeah.
And so that's what we learned, that is how we adapt to new challenges. That if there is a challenge, we come up with the solutions, and our faculty members they have put lot of visuals in their presentations so that the students don't get bored in the classes. In online classes, it is pretty easy to get bored.
Yeah.
So that is what we learned, and we've been able to adjust to the requirements.
So change is a new change, as we say, and definitely you have find the best alternative so that
all examinations also we moved to online.
Great. So
internal assessment, full time, and the external examination, all we moved to online.
So they are not losing anything. Meanwhile, they're just gaining more and more knowledge and even at their place. So that's
Absolutely
great. So, there's a question that any insights into that how your university could be more welcoming to the students of different races or economic backgrounds?
Well, we have been looking at this because though our fee is pretty low, the institute does not charge too high a fee. For even our MBA full-time program, the fee is only about 1,10,000 per year, which is pretty low. And for the other programs also, the fee is less than 1 lakh. For a BBA program, 75,000. For our commerce, the fee is about 55,000 and so on. For law also 55,000. So our fees are reasonably low. That means it can any student can afford. In fact, even over and above that, we are giving scholarship to students on merit. That means if a student scores more than 75% marks, then the student can get scholarship. And it is not only in the first year of entry. every year, if the student maintains that percentage, 75 plus, he gets a scholarship up to 10,000 rupees.
Great.
With a fee of 55,000, the student can get a scholarship of 10,000 rupees if the student does well. Plus, the society has a trust that actually also funds fees of students, partial fee of students. The students who are from economically poor background, we send their application along with the other data that is required, and they evaluate and then send. They send checks equivalent to the fee that they want to waive off. Say 25% fee they want to waive off. So whatever is the amount, they send a check of that denomination to the institution, and that's probably a very unique arrangement. Definitely. You would find some institutions might give rebate.
Yeah.
But that means the money is lost by the institution.
Yeah.
Here it is not rebate. It is the funding.
Yeah.
The society funds the education of that student.
Great.
So that is the difference.
So the student can easily invest that small amount of money, and I think Prestige is doing everything to welcome every student of every race or every economic background the best they can do. So, sir, what do you think that how do you think that Prestige would look like after 10 years from now?
Well, we've been moving pretty fast in the upward trajectory. We see it has to be research focused. Prestige has been research focused in its journey till now. In fact, we are publishing 25 up to 2025 research papers in Scopus listed and Emerald and ABDC and such quality journals. We have been publishing those many, and about 150 research papers in the other UGC approved and the other journals. Now that shows the strength of the institution, current strength of the institution.
Yeah.
We are going to move up in this. That research is going to be the backbone of the institute, so that the faculty members continue to develop, and they bring something to the classroom. Whatever they learned through their research, they naturally will bring that to the classroom. So it will be additional inputs, additional knowledge that they will bring from their own understanding and not from books. Yeah. So that would give added advantage to the students. So we are going to focus on that. We have been working on students' skills till now, and we will continue doing that because we've realized that this is the area that is lacking in majority of the students who pass out from different institutions. Communication skills are lacking, decision-making skills, team skills, interpersonal skills, and behavioral, and you find a host of other skills, quantitative ability, analysis ability. So there are a host of skills that the students need to have when they join industry. Yeah. And we have special classes for that wherever, whatever part, because I know the skills require a different kind of training. Regular classes cannot embed the kind of skills that are needed. So you need to have special classes for embedding skills, and we have that.
So the students came here as a raw, and they are just till the time they graduate or post-graduate, they become a finished product for the industry.
Also, we've been accredited. We have NBA accreditation for our MBA program. We have NAAC A accreditation. We are an autonomous institution. Our institute has a recognized research center of the university and so on. Yeah. We are going to move on that, and we would get an international accreditation in coming years, so that we are known as a research institution. We are known as a good professional institution worldwide.
Yeah. So
that's the objective.
Yeah. So with the continuation of your answer, what apart from this, what would you like to tell the people more about your university which you think they don't know? Like when you said as for the getting into research, apart from that,
Well, the institution is student focused.
yeah,
Our complete focus is on students. And that is the reason why we have been able to identify what are the issues that the students face and how those issues can be resolved for the students. And that is the reason when we started our online teaching, we were quickly able to realize that the students have problem in focusing, and we need to break the sessions into parts. We need to have more, say, visuals in our presentations. We need to have more humor in our presentation so that the students do not get bored, because they are looking at a dumb machine. They are not looking at lively people in front of them.
yeah,
So that's because we have student focus. We were able to realize that every activity, every action that this institution takes is student centric. Our complete focus is on students. This is unlike any other institution. Institutions look at admissions and look at revenue. Some institutions have focus on faculty, some have focus on infrastructure and so on.
yeah,
Our complete focus is on students. Infrastructure requirement is, we look at the students' requirement, and then we require whatever infrastructural requirements are there for students, we develop. And it is not the other way around. Develop 100 acres of infrastructure, 100 acres of land, and then a whole large number of buildings, and then try and fill that up.
yeah.
No, that's not the way we function. We evaluate students' requirement and then develop resources for that.
Great, sir. Because what the other colleges or institutions who have great infrastructures are still, I think, empty right now. The main thing is
True.
that education, what COVID has made us realize, rather than big infrastructures. So,
True.
sir, what are some of the biggest challenges you see that for both higher education and in general for your university specifically, or in general about the education coming up?
See, in general, we've had a poor general enrollment ratio in our education. Higher education is 26% in India,
Yeah.
and some of the developed countries have up to 80-90% GER. This is that means we stand at very low rank. As far as enrollments are concerned in higher education. We need to move up. That's one part. The second part is, and we need to move up means one reason why that is happening is accessibility. That means the villages, etc., the rural areas, they don't have institutions or quality institutions, and because of that, they are not able to pursue higher education.
Yeah.
That's a challenge. Online education, we realized during COVID that there is a serious challenge in rural areas. Either the power supply is not there, or the internet, either it is not there, or the speed is not right. 4G, 5G is, forget about 5G, 4G is not there. And the students have very difficult time in trying to learn online. This is a very serious challenge that the infrastructure has to develop. Even they see we've learned that it has to be blended learning now. It will not be only face-to-face anymore. That time is gone. We will have blended learning, and for blended learning, part of it has to be online. And to ensure that part of it is online, move to online, the infrastructure has to be in line with the requirement. So that is a very serious challenge. Another challenge is that we have institutions, we have faculty members, but are they contributing? See, majority of institutions that I don't want to mention the names, but are run on no attendance required basis. That means the students don't have to come to the institution. They need to just enroll in the institution, pay the fee, and then appear for examination. How can we expect those students to develop to the required level? And that is happening in majority of institutions.
Yeah.
That means about 60 to 70% institutions are functioning like that. And then we say that 60 to 70%, that 90% of the engineers passing out from institutions and about 70% of the management graduates passing out from different management institutions are not employable.
Yeah.
Rightly so. The students have not seen the institution. Forget about attending any classes. How can development take place? How can they be suitable for the industry? So this has to change. The strict norms have to be developed and their implementation has to be ensured. Strict norms are not going to help. It is the implementation that's the problem. Now attendance 75% requirement is there everywhere in India.
Yeah.
But how many institutions are following that? Very, very few. And all those, there are a number of institutions which actually indicate that they are very strict on that, but they charge fine and allow student.
Yeah.
Now, is that the way that we will do? That if somebody doesn't have 75% attendance and if somebody has only 20% attendance, then you pay 50,000 rupees and then sit in examination. There are institutions like that, and there are a large number of institutions like that.
Yeah.
So there are three categories. One, institutions which are very particular about attendance.
Yeah.
They will not, exchange the attendance with anything else. So if you attend, you appear in examination and you progress. If you don't attend, then you can leave the institution. We are that kind of institution.
Great.
Then second institution is that you don't have to come. And you appear for examination and take your degree and go. And the third, this is, I should say, the worst, is that 75% attendance is required. If you don't maintain it, you pay fine and then appear in examination. Now, the student has lost twice.
Yeah.
One, he hasn't learned.
Yeah.
And two, he has paid fine also for that. And these things have to stop.
Definitely.
And we have to have strict norms and very strict implementation.
Yeah.
2020, NEP 2020 is good in its letter and spirit, but it has to be implemented in letter and spirit in exactly the way it is written there.
Design.
This is going to be extremely difficult.
Yes, because education cannot be a barter system, because you
It
cannot.
should not be. It should never be.
So that's a great. Even I didn't think from this point of view, which you said, and that I know that many of the institutions have been doing this.
Yeah,
so
they do.
Definitely, we shouldn't take education as a criteria of a business, but that is
Absolutely.
we are contributing
That is
towards
happening.
the society. Great outcome from your side, sir, on this. The next question from my side is: when you first came to your university or college, then what was your vision towards college or university?
Well, I came from another institution of the same society.
Okay.
I was working at Prestige Institute of Management and Research, Indore, and we were focused there. And that institution had become well known in the country. When I left that institution, we were already NBA accredited, and we were working on our NAAC accreditation that time. And when I moved to Gwalior, it's this institution run by the same society, but I found the institution is not doing well.
Yeah.
We had only 200 students enrolled that time, total students, 200 approximately that time. And, and that was happening because the institution, we were not focusing on students. So when I came to the institution, the first thing that I did was that the only focus that we need to have is students. Once we focus on that, everything would fall in line.
Definitely.
If you look at our outcome outcome is the development of the student.
Yeah.
And now that should be as per the requirements of the stakeholders and industry. The society is stakeholder, the family is stakeholder. So you need the students should be good fit in the society.
Yeah.
That means they should think correctly.
Yeah.
And they should think for the society. So we have a number of activities that we've started. We have 5 clubs that are taking care of social activities only.
Okay.
There are other clubs which are taking care of professional activities, but 5 clubs taking care of only social activities. and our students are involved in social activities from day one. So by the time they pass out from this institution, they know what are the social problems.
Yeah.
They know that they have to work for society. So that's absolutely important. So I started that, and you know today that we are a NBA accredited and NAC accredited autonomous institution,
Yeah.
UGC 2F12B approved, and university is approved as a research center, permanent affiliation of the university, and so on. All these achievements have been because of the relentless efforts that we put in to ensure that we are on the track of, and our focus should never waver from one, and that is student.
Definitely, sir. So you are doing what the student is requiring and definitely making changes according to that. So that's a great
Right.
thing, sir. That you look from the side of a student, and that will definitely help them to benefit. So my last question is that any suggestions you would like to give to the current youth or aspiring students who are facing a lot of difficulties in this pandemic time, how to approach their
But
career?
see, pandemic or no pandemic,
Yeah.
the students have to think that they have to prepare themselves for future. What I have seen is the students think that it is the parents or it is the institution that is responsible for developing them to the required level, and they are supposed to get everything in life.
Yeah.
Nothing comes easy in life. You have to work hard for it. The only success mantra is work hard. The mantra work smart would come. But first thing that you need to learn is you need to learn how to work hard. You need to be dedicated, you need to be disciplined, you need to be directed. That means focused. So you have to remain focused. All this, spending time on net, spending time on phone, spending time with friends, everything is okay. Ration it.
Yeah.
That means you fix time that I will spend only 1 hour with my friends. I will spend half an hour on my social networking, and remaining time I will spend only on my development and the rest that I need to take. That's the essential rest that body needs. Now that is not happening. In fact, the students remain awake till 2 o'clock. They are on net, they are with friends, they are chatting, and then in the morning they are not able to get up. They get up late. They are not able to go for exercises. They rush to the institution, and you can understand even today when the classes are going on online, they may not be even taking bath, and they may be attending classes like that. Now this is okay today, but when you go in organization, how can you function like that?
Definitely.
You would require a regime, proper regime. You have to reach the organization by 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
That means you need to get up at 6
Yeah.
at least. And in metropolitan cities, it takes up to 2 hours to travel. That means you need to get up at 5.
Yeah.
Now, if you're getting up at 11 o'clock today, how will you move from 11 o'clock to 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock for that matter? Absolutely difficult or impossible. And in life, human body requires hard work. I mean, it will remain good if you work hard. And you need to have all 4 things, right? Body, mind, mental, psychological, and Atma. All 3 have to be developed. All 4 have to be developed. And to develop all 4 faculty, all 4 of these, the students have to continuously, relentlessly keep working on them.
Right.
So I personally feel that's one that they have to do. And 2 is they have to wisely select the institution. Today, I have seen number of students opting for institutions that allow students to pursue their degrees without attending institution. It is easy. It gives you a lot of freedom. You don't have to go to the institution, but you are learning nothing.
Definitely.
And without learning, the world is not going to accept you. the professional world is not going to accept you. They would require right attitude, the required skill level, and the desired knowledge. If you don't have that, the professional world is not going to accept you.
Definitely.
And nobody can help you there. If you think that you have a brother or your father is also working in industry or in senior government positions, that can be a temporary help, that somebody can arrange interview for you,
Yeah.
or maybe can push you in an organization, but you have to retain your job.
Definitely.
How many days, how many months, how many years are you going to retain that without working? You can't. So depend only on your skills, knowledge, and attitude in the reverse order. That means first your attitude should be right, then your skill set should be right, and then your knowledge should be right. These in order.
Okay.
If that is there, I am sure you will be successful.
Definitely. So that is very great knowledge. Even I gained a lot from this interview, sir. I would like to thank Dr. Bakar for his precious time and even his thoughts. And even if I would have been a student who would be graduating or post graduation, this would have helped me a lot to change myself before I entered to the industry. So I would like to thank you, sir, from the College Dunia family for sharing your time as well as your thoughts. And definitely, this will help many of the aspiring students who are facing a lot of difficulties and are off track right now. But this will definitely give them a help to be on track back.
Thank you, Ashish.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
Sir.
thank you, College Dunia.